Have you ever noticed something strange? The moment something becomes unavailable, it suddenly becomes more attractive. A person who ignored us for months suddenly occupies our thoughts day and night. A job we never cared about becomes our dream the moment we're rejected. A product sells out, and suddenly everyone wants it. Why? Why do humans desire things more when they cannot have them? And perhaps an even deeper question: are we really chasing the thing itself, or are we chasing what our mind imagines it to be? Today, we're exploring one of the most fascinating psychological mysteries of human behavior: why we want what we can't have. Imagine a child sitting in a room filled with toys. The child ignores almost all of them, but place a glass box around one toy and suddenly that's the only thing they want. Nothing about the toy changed. Its quality didn't improve. Its usefulness didn't increase. Only one thing changed: access. The toy became difficult to obtain, and instantly its value increased in the child's mind. The interesting part is that we never truly outgrow this tendency. Adults simply replace toys with relationships, careers, luxury items, status, and opportunities. The inaccessible becomes irresistible. Psychologists call this the scarcity principle. In simple terms, the rarer something feels, the more valuable our brain assumes it must be. Throughout human history, scarce resources often meant survival. Food, water, shelter, and opportunities were limited. Those who paid attention to scarcity had a better chance of surviving. As a result, our brains evolved to treat rarity as importance. Even today, marketers use this principle constantly. Limited edition. Only 3 left. Exclusive access. Suddenly our heart beats a little faster. We feel urgency. We feel desire. Not because the object itself changed, but because its availability changed. Scarcity creates value in our minds, but scarcity is only one part of the story. Beneath it lies something even more powerful: the human ego. Think about rejection. When someone says no to us, something unusual often happens. Instead of losing interest, we become even more interested. Not because the person is perfect, but because rejection creates a challenge. The ego dislikes unfinished stories. It craves validation. It wants proof that we are worthy, desirable, and chosen. When someone becomes unavailable, our mind starts whispering, "Maybe if I can get them, I'll finally feel enough." At that point, the desire is no longer about the person. It's about ourselves. We are chasing validation disguised as love. Another reason we want what we can't have is because imagination is often stronger than reality. When something is out of reach, we rarely see it clearly. Instead, we fill in the gaps with fantasies. We imagine perfection. We focus on the highlights and ignore the flaws. It's like looking at a mountain from far away. From a distance, it looks majestic, magical, almost flawless. But once you climb it, you discover the steep paths, loose rocks, exhaustion, and difficulties. Distance allows imagination to create perfection. Closeness reveals reality. Many desires survive only because they are never fulfilled. The fantasy remains untouched. This is why so many people feel disappointed after achieving what they once considered their biggest dream. They finally get the promotion, buy the dream car, move into the luxury house, or enter the relationship they spent years chasing. For a brief moment, they feel incredible. Then something unexpected happens. The excitement begins to fade. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation. Human beings adapt remarkably fast. What once felt extraordinary gradually becomes normal. The dream becomes routine. The extraordinary becomes ordinary. And before long, the mind starts searching for another mountain to climb. In a strange way, the mind often enjoys wanting more than having. Desire creates movement, anticipation, and excitement. Possession creates stability and familiarity. The chase feels alive. The destination feels ordinary. This is why anticipation can sometimes feel more satisfying than arrival itself. Ancient philosophers recognized this truth long before modern psychology existed. They observe that much of human suffering comes not from reality but from attachment. We convince ourselves that happiness exists somewhere beyond our current situation. In the next achievement, the next relationship, the next purchase, the next version of ourselves. But every time we reach that destination, the horizon moves farther away. The chase never ends because the problem was never the destination. It was the belief that happiness lived there. Modern social media amplifies this tendency. Every day, millions of people scroll through images of lives they don't have, relationships they don't have, appearances they don't have, and success they don't have. The mind becomes obsessed with distant possibilities while becoming blind to present realities. The unavailable always appears more beautiful because reality comes with flaws. Fantasy does not. Neuroscience offers another fascinating explanation. Dopamine, often called the motivation chemical, is not primarily released when we receive a reward. It is heavily involved in the anticipation of a reward. The possibility of getting something often excites us more than actually getting it. This means the brain becomes addicted to pursuit itself. The uncertainty, anticipation, and possibility create a powerful emotional experience. This is why dating can sometimes feel more exciting than a long-term relationship, why shopping feels exciting before the purchase, and why planning a vacation sometimes feels better than returning from one. The danger is that we can spend our entire lives chasing inaccessible things, not because they are truly valuable, but because their distance creates illusion. We begin to confuse difficulty with worth. We confuse rarity with importance. We confuse obsession with love. We confuse wanting with happiness. And before we realize it, we are running after mirages. So, how do we escape this trap? A simple question can change everything. Do I want this because it's genuinely valuable, or do I want it because I can't have it? Most people never ask themselves this question, yet it has the power to expose countless illusions. Many desires lose their grip the moment we examine them honestly. Another useful exercise is to imagine that you already possess the thing you desire. Imagine having it for 6 months, 1 year, or even 5 years. What would daily life look like? What problems would still remain? What new challenges would appear? Often, this exercise shrinks the fantasy and restores perspective. Reality begins to replace imagination. Of course, some things are genuinely worth pursuing. Meaningful relationships, personal growth, purpose, wisdom, creativity, and contribution can enrich our lives. But many of our strongest cravings are fueled not by genuine value, but by scarcity, distance, and imagination. We mistake the glow of desire for the presence of importance. Perhaps the greatest freedom comes when we stop asking, "How can I get what I can't have?" and start asking, "Why do I need it so badly in the first place?" Because sometimes the answer reveals something profound. What we're truly seeking isn't the object, person, or achievement itself. We're seeking the feeling we believe it will give us. Love, acceptance, security, status, freedom, or self-worth. Once we understand that, we regain control. Desire no longer controls us. The next time you find yourself obsessed with something out of reach, pause for a moment. Look closely. Ask yourself whether it is genuinely valuable or simply unavailable. Because the human mind has a remarkable habit of turning locked doors into treasures, distant mountains into paradise, and impossible dreams into necessities. Yet often the things we already possess are far more valuable than the things we cannot reach. The challenge is learning to see them before it's too late. Sometimes the greatest lesson in life isn't getting what we want. It's understanding why we wanted it in the first place. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in next video. Till then, have a great time, friends.